For the wrap-up of our coverage from the Virginia Team Invitational, here's Billy Crump with the call.
Well, it's Sunday afternoon. It's about 2:45. We're going to see all #1 seed players from these teams. We've got Brian Sweberger, we've got Brian Skinner, we've got Michael Johansson, and we've got Ronnie Turner. Oh, Ronnie's pured one. That's what you're looking for, guys. Oh, he hits the tree. Instead of being absolutely parked, he's got about a 55-foot depth putt, and he does not get through the door cleanly. Bumps his little head. We'll move on down, see how Sweberger handles his thumber. Well, Swebby says he got a hole-in-one on this hole as he's in the stump there. All right, here's Brian Sweberger. He's a good 85 feet, maybe 90 feet away, just looking to lay up. Oh, he's crested the hill. He's gone to the bottom. That's not what he was looking for. We'll move on down, see if Ronnie Turner can lay his up properly. All right, Brian Sonic just floated and crested the hill. Ronnie Turner's layup. Oh, he hits off the rock and up in the bucket as he's trying to lay up.
Oh my God.
Did you see that?
That was amazing.
Ronnie Turner will take his hole as he hits it off the rock and up in the bucket. Wow. What a great layup. That was awesome. Oh, I hope that captured on cameras, guys. I was up next to the bucket, and I'm telling you, that was a great layup. Hit that rock right up in the chains for a 2. He'll take this hole. He's now only down by 2 with 3 to go. Now Michael Joe moving in, and Michael Joe certainly knows what this putt means. Oh, he hits it. He plops around. Oh, and he makes it to the bottom of the hill. He's going to have a tough little putt coming straight back up. And Skinner's standing up on top. We'll see how they finish. All right, MJ now. He's only about 14, 15 feet, but he's straight up. Oh, not a problem. We got plenty of elevation baskets in Charlotte. That's just like a putt on any one of Stan's crazy holes. He's going to pick up Skinner. These guys are going to tie. We'll move on down, and we're going to show you an unbelievable par 5 next. Hole number 7, 975 feet. All right, this is hole number 7, 975 feet. Beautiful drive here. A couple of dead trees, several nice oaks. You just want to crest out there at a little over 300 and get over that creek. Oh, Skinner has pured it. He's hit it right dead center. Oh, and he gets a flare. Not a lot of flare skips out there. Michael Joe and Skinner all knotted up with 3 to go. Oh, that's trouble. Michael Joe hazarding right into a tree, not out of the mouth, and a huge, huge advantage to Brian Skinner. Here comes Ronnie Turner. Ronnie was down by 3 with 4 to go, made a miraculous shot. Got a hole right there. He's down by 2 now with 3 to go. Oh, he's ripped out. That needs to stay clean. Oh, he has a double whack, but he is still out. Had enough power on it to spin it the wrong way. And that thing was moving, guys. Here comes Brian Sweberger. Oh, that could be trouble. Oh, as he hits it, he kicks right, he stays dry. He's just up to the mouth. He'll probably have something from there. These guys have still got 600 and some odd feet to go. We'll move on down and show you a majestic green eventually. All right, Michael Joe now. Oh, he has ripped rip this thing. That's 400, that's 450. That might be 500 plus right there. That was a massive rip from Michael Joe. That's how you make up for a mistake. Well, as you can see, Swebby, he's not gonna have a run up. He can only throw about 450 feet with a one step, so not a big disadvantage here. This is a par 5, and it's going to take a 4 to win the hole. Yes, slightly confined. He will have to commit to this shot. Oh, he rips it. It turns over as long as it hooks up. And there it comes. It's about 650 feet long and about 500 feet wide out there. We're going to try to get across the creek and run them down. All right, we've got Ronnie Turner here. Ronnie not only pured the gap, he got it out a good 60 feet past the creek. He's got a good 600 plus left. Ronnie can throw it a country mile. We'll see if he'll turn one loose for us. Oh, he's worked it nice. Oh, that's 400. Oh, that's 450. Oh, that's 500 plus. Oh, and he gets a big flare as the group just loves it back here. You can hear the love for him. Great shot there. He's trying to come back fast. We're going to move way on out here to Brian Skinner's. He's a good 70 to 80 feet past Ronnie Turner's drive. Skinner now with Michael Joe in trouble off the tee. Michael Joe's laying 2, but he absolutely crushed his second shot, close to 500 feet. And here's Brian Skinner. Oh, that is a beautiful looking shot. Look at it get a lift. That's 400. That's 450. All these guys throwing 500 feet here on their second shot. Wide open, flex, beautiful shots. We're going to try to catch them as we run down the fairway here. Well, Michael Joe, after an absolute crush from in the woods, threw his first shot less than 100 feet, threw his second shot about 500 feet. You got to push the creek. Oh, and he goes up and in. Can you believe it? He has just threed the par 5 after hitting the tree off the tee. Unbelievable. That is Michael Joe right there. And I'll tell you what, Brian Skinner don't know what to do. He thought it was a great shot, but again, this is match play, and boy, is he in deep trouble now.
Feeling like 320.
Well, Brian says he thinks it's feeling like 320. The whole group is juiced as Michael Joe just threw in a 400-foot shot, 4-3. And now here comes Brian. Oh, Billy don't like it. That is not a good thumber. And to be the #1 thumber in the world, I'll tell you, as the former #1 thumber, I am disappointed in that shot. Well, we've moved around here. Brian Sweberger, mediocre drive, great second shot, mediocre third shot. He doesn't really have a good putt for a 4. Ronnie Turner laying 2 here. All he's got to do is get up and down, and that match will get tight. Be back to 1 with 2 to go. Oh, Ronnie's challenging the limbs. Oh, and he almost tops it on top of Michael Joe. Getting a little jiggy with it when he didn't need to. And now Brian Skinner's going to move in. And I'll tell you, Brian took the best drive, the best second shot. He is 70 feet past where the next best man was laying 2. And he's looking at a yellow disc down there in the basket. And he knows if he don't top it, he loses this hole. Now this is golf, guys. Match play at its best. and he's ready. He's got out his favorite rock. He's probably about 200, maybe inside 250, and he really needs this. That guy's a drop. Just over the top, he'll be able to pick that up. He'll go down by 1 point with only 2 holes to go. Brian Sweberger's going to have to make a big putt, or he's going to let Ronnie Turner right back in this thing down by 1 with 2 holes to go, and both those holes are along a creek and up a hill, very wooded, very tough. Well, Brian's got out his Sonic. And he's looking to float this thing up. He's got to give it a chance. Oh, look at that. That's headed right at it. Oh, off the right tray. Brian's about 70 feet away. And that was a nice effort. Now, Ronnie Turner. Ronnie was a little aggressive. Could have been juiced from Michael Joe's 400-foot plus throw-in, and he went for his. Came up a little long. We'll see if he can't make his putt. Well, they have conceded. Brian tells Ronnie his is good.
Have you started your class collection yet? I have. I got all 7.
Now that's what we saw at the World
Clash DVD. Start your collection today. I've got mine.
It's that easy.
He's looking at a turbo. It tends to go in a lot.
Clash DVD. Have you started your collection? I have mine.
That's got a chance.
Clash DVD. Have you started your collection? I got mine.
Hit me again. I still got a bug. Go ahead.
Now, let's head back to Texas for more coverage of the 2011 Players' Cup. Steve Dodge makes the call.
We've done the 2 minutes. It's time to start.
Start! Woo!
Welcome to the 2011 Players' Cup, presented by Vibram Disc Golf. The Players' Cup is the World Match Play Championship, featuring the best players in the world and the biggest payout in any match play format. Let's see how we got to the Final Four. And now to the Disc Nation Quadrant. In round 1, Nico Locastro defeated Adam Hernandez 5-4. Putting is always critical. In round 2, Nico defeated John Fowler 6-4. John couldn't get it going. In round 3, Nico Locastro and Shannon Fosdick. Putting 7-5 for Nico. In round 4, Nico hit a roadblock in Eric McCabe. These two would go back and forth, making big drives and big putts. And on hole 12, Nico does a little soul searching. Eric McCabe fails to take advantage and gives away a couple shots on the last 2 holes. Nico Locastro wins 1-0. Let's go to the Paragon Quadrant. In our next battle, Paul Macbeth would defeat Kyle Edmund 6-5 after losing the first hole. In the second round, Paul Macbeth takes on the Giggler, Don Ellsworth. The Giggler puts up a heck of a battle, but Paul had too much in the tank and advances to the third round against Ricky Wysocki. Ricky Wysocki, a fellow touring pro, knows how to play the game.
All with a lower shot coming
but
in
so
right
does Paul Macbeth.
And
he sent it home 4-2. In the final round, leading to the Final Four, Paul Macbeth takes on Phil Arthur. He hit some big putts. He hit some great drives. Phil Arthur would respond, but it wasn't enough. And Paul Macbeth takes the day 3-2. Let's go to the PDGA quadrant. In the next quadrant, Nate Doss, hitting some big putts, takes on Des Redding. who says she's not going down easy. Nate Doss ends up winning 8-7 after winning 6 holes in a row.
He hits the flag on top of the basket.
In the second round,
was like, took me to 18.
We'll let Nate tell it for himself.
Yeah, it was Mike D from here in Austin, and he was actually 3 up on me through 9 holes. So to come through that was just intense.
Gracious as always. In round 3, Nate Doss takes on Fred Smith. Fred misses some putts early. Nate Doss hits some big shots early. Fred would fight back, but it would not be enough. Nate Doss brings it home in the 3rd round, winning 4-2. In round 4, an epic battle between Nate Doss and Will Schustrick. Will would make a good drive. Nate would can a good putt. It would only take a couple of errors, and Will Schustrick only made a couple of errors. He hit some good putts, forced Nate to hit some good putts. But in the end, Nate Doss had too many answers. And Will Schustrick was 1 answer short, falling 3-1 to Nate Doss. And now to the DGA quadrant. In our final quadrant, Avery Jenkins takes on Texas native Robbie Bratton, winning 5-3. Advancing to round 2, he takes on Shasta Chris. Hole 14 puts the whole thing in perspective. Avery Jenkins jumps out to a big lead. Shasta Chris makes some really nice runs, but in the end, couldn't connect. Avery Jenkins wins 5-4. In round 3, a heroic matchup between Avery Jenkins and Cale Laviska. Cale parks his drive, Avery hits the putt. Cale parks his drive, Avery hits the putt. Avery parks his drive, and Avery advances to round 4 against Devin Owens. Avery would jump out to a quick lead on Devin Owens, but Devin had a couple of answers up his sleeves. But sometimes the disc gods just say no. Avery Jenkins advances 4-2. He's in the final 4.
Oh yeah.
Who's gonna win?
Everybody's a winner here.
And we go to the final 4. Nate Doss taking on Avery Jenkins, and Nico Locastro taking on Paul Macbeth. The 2 winners advance to the finals. The losers go home. We start with Nate Doss on the tee. Nate puts up a beautiful drive. It's a little bit to the right. It should come back. It skips in bounds. Nate Doss is set up nicely for a look at the protected green. Avery Jenkins throws a laser beam nice and low. Gets a country mile down the fairway. Nate Doss, second shot. That gets around the trees, and he is safe inbounds. Avery Jenkins puts his flick way high, and that is hanging off to the right.
Jeez, really?
And he is out of bounds. Here is Nate Doss, who lays it up under the pin, forcing Avery to hit his putt. This is his 4th putt with the OB to push the hole. Oh! Avery misses the putt, and Nate Doss takes a gift on hole 1. And that brings us to the other side of the card, where Nico Locastro, the 2010 reigning Players' Cup champion, takes on Paul Macbeth, one of the up-and-coming stars on the Disc Golf Tour. Nico Locastro's first drive, safely inbounds. Well played, Nico. And then Paul McBeth. He is up to the challenge, and that is a beautiful first shot by Paul McBeth. Here's Paul's second shot. And that should be up and over. Looks like it's about 40 to 45 feet past the pin. It is inbounds. You'll have a look at birdie 3. Nico Locastro's second shot. That is way up there. Let's watch for the call. That is close. It is inbounds, and Nico's got about a 30-foot putt. Paul McBeth for birdie. Leaves it a smidge low. Nico to take the first hole. We are pushing the first hole.
$205 right now for the ace pot. Anybody got anything else?
Nate Doss is one up on Avery Jenkins. Nico Locastro and Paul McBeth are all tied up going into the short hole 2. Nate Doss on the tee of hole 2. It's a little tight to the inside. He leaves himself about 30 feet for birdie. Avery Jenkins takes advantage. He's down 1. He needs to get it back. And that is a beauty. The pressure shifts to Nate Doss. Nate is high. We are all tied up. On the other side of the card, Nico Locastro and Paul McBeth all knotted up. Nico puts up a beauty of a drive about 6 feet away. Paul McBeth is even closer. Call it a push. And we move on to hole 3. Nate Doss and Avery Jenkins all tied up. Nico Locastro, Paul McBeth all tied up. And we go to hole 3. Avery Jenkins on the tee. On hole 3, you want a huge drive to get to the landing zone and have a nice look into this dogleg right, par 4. Avery with a very nice drive. Nate turns that over a little bit early. He's going to have a very tricky upshot. Avery Jenkins puts it wide. It hangs back to the right, just past the pin. He's got about 25 to 30 feet for the birdie 3. Nate Doss needs to wend his way through the woods, and he does it just fine, leaving himself about 15 feet for birdie. Avery Jenkins, low. Nate Doss needs to hit this, and he goes up by 1 again. To the other side of the card, Nico Locastro and Paul McBeth. Nico turns that over a bit early. He's going to have a tricky look through those woods. And Paul McBeth with a huge shot. He's very well set up. Nico goes way up and over. Watch for it to the right. He's got about 30 feet for the birdie. And Paul McBeth with a very artistic upshot. Focuses in on the pin.
Sick.
Got about 8 feet. Nico to push hole 3. Hands it. So we go on to hole 3. Nate Doss is again up by 1. Nico Locastro, Paul McBeth, all knotted up.
Hi. This video shows various putting examples for when a player has demonstrated balance to not foot fault. I'm Chuck Kennedy, liaison to the PDGA Rules Committee. Starting in 2012, the Rules Q&A will become officially part of the rules. This particular video is covering the new Q&A 37 on demonstrating balance. Rule 80304C indicates a player must demonstrate full control of balance before proceeding to the basket when putting inside 10 meters. However, the rule doesn't indicate exactly how or how long a player must maintain balance. The new Q&A 37, effective in 2012, provides a better description of what it means to maintain balance. Essentially, the player must perform some action that breaks up the flow of movement after release before moving toward the target. 3 ways to do this are: 1. A clear pause while remaining balanced. 2. Placing your other foot back on the ground behind your mark. and 3, picking up your marker. The following numbered video clips show examples where the player's method of maintaining balance meets the new criteria, and a few that do not, indicated by the word fault, shown in red. Most of these clips are not foot faults, and the word OK is shown in green. The player walking sideways behind their mark might occur more in casual play than tournament play. But these 3 examples show ways it can be done without foot faulting. Most of us have walked toward the basket and putted without slowing down in casual play, typically for drop-ins. Unless you hesitate long enough after releasing the putt, it should be called a foot fault, as in these first 2 examples. Even though no time period for maintaining balance is specified, it looks like at least a 2 count should be good enough. See what you think as we continue to watch these clips. The following 4 clips show straddle putts where the player already has both feet on the ground during the putting motion. But other than the first clip, all of the action after putting takes at least a 2 count before progressing, or completely happens behind the mark, which is allowed. Here's a putt I like to call the crane move, borrowed from the Karate Kid. Try pulling this move to mess with a new player in league. It can be useful when close to the basket on very windy days to secure your drop in. Remember to lift your front foot before putting and don't fall forward. The following 5 clips show more conventional putts where the player releases with their back foot off the ground. In each case, the player does something behind their mark that takes at least a 2 count before he proceeds to the basket. Okay, maybe putting with a zephyr and jumping after the shot is a little unconventional. The player is dragging his toe to demonstrate balance in this case. The next few clips show some less common situations. The player can put his hands on the ground in front of the lie as long as he waits a few beats to demonstrate balance. No problem here as long as his plant foot is not touching the mini or the tree at the time the putt is released. Player must wait a few beats before touching the basket, and a reminder, you can't touch it during a drop-in putt. Sorry, but biting flies are not an excuse for a foot fault, but may provide some comic relief for your group. Hope you found these putting video clips useful and can help you make calls in your own game. Thanks for watching.
Oh, got a chance.
Wow! Whoa!
There it is, man. There it is.
There it is.
Louisiana.
order you dolls first class.
Don't tell me to shush.
What?
No. Wait.
Yeah, she's...
Hey! Oh! Whoa! What?
Dolls first class.
Don't tell me to shush.
What?
No.
Well, time is running out on this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Gold stars to Billy Crump, Steve Dodge, Jesse Olquist, Chuck Kennedy, Joe Todd, and Ski for sharing their videos. Without such generosity, this show would be pretty darn short. Keep up the good work. Until next time, drive carefully.
Out of the bush for soup. Good far save for Aaron Oakley.